To say that paid modding on Steam didn't go down very well feels like a massive understatement. Of course, when this came into fruition with Skyrim as a sort of pilot, people did not respond well to the idea of paid mods for several reasons. Of course, one of those was you're introducing paid mods into a game that's had free mods for years and years and years, and the execution of the paid mods was, shall we say, questionable at best. Now, Valve addressed the idea of paid mods once again at a recent company meeting where the GamesBeat editor Jeff Grubb asked of Gabe Newell about the status of paid mods and if they would be taking another crack at it. And what Gabe had to say is definitely interesting. He said, quote, "In a sense, you want to have really good signal to noise ratios and how the gaming community signals to developers. Yeah, do more of that. Or no, please don't release any more of those ever. And modders create a lot of value, and we think that absolutely they need to be compensated. They're creating value, and the degree to which they're not being accurately compensated is a bug in the system, right? It's just inserting noise into it. You want to have efficient ways so that the people who are actually creating value are the people that money is flowing into." However, he wasn't shy about addressing the fact that their first attempt at paid mods was a bit of a catastrophe, to be quite honest. And he said, quote, "The Skyrim situation was a mess. It was not the right place to launch that specific thing, and we did some sort of ham-handed stupid things in terms of how we rolled it out. Eric Johnson basically said, we just need to back off this for now, but the fundamental concept of the gaming community needs to reward the people who are creating value is pretty important, right? The degree to which Valve helps contribute to efficiency in the system is one of the ways in which we're adding value to the system as a whole. So, we just have to figure out how to do it in a way that makes customers happy and that they buy into it, and it makes creators happy because they feel that the system is rational and is rewarding the right people for the work they do. Does that make sense?" And yes, that does all make sense, and I'm not against the principle of paying for a quality mod. I just think, to be honest, the least messy way to actually execute it would be for donations to be put in place, so that if you download a mod, it has its own little mini page on Steam as part of the game or what have you, and if you really like the mod, you can throw that mod a $5-10, whatever you think is actually worth for the work that they've put into the mod. As we saw with Skyrim, just having a flat fee of say $5 to $10 or whatever it happens to be, it just opens up the floodgates for all sorts of problems. You had people changing the skin of a weapon and charging $10 for it. You had all of a sudden ownership coming into contention because mods have been built upon other mods and so on. And just throwing someone $5 obviously is a lot different than, hey, I paid $15 for this mod that is actually half built upon this other modder's work and that other modder didn't get anything. And you get where I'm going with this. I'm not saying donation is a magical rainbow that solves everything, but I think it's a lot less messy than the approach that Valve took initially, obviously introducing paid mods into a game that had free mods, and free mods had basically fixed a lot of the major problems with the game, was, not really brilliant in itself. But even if you had a fresh game with these paid mods, the implementation was still pretty lackluster in all honesty. I think, again, donations are probably the best way to go about doing paid mods because it's optional and modders are still being rewarded for their work, because in some cases these mods are insane and are basically like entirely new games. So I'm not against at all giving modders some compensation for the crazy amount of work and passion that they put into these projects. Mods are wide and varied. You have mods like Durante, who basically fixed Dark Souls when it first came to PC. And you have other mods like Sweet Effects, which improve the graphics of a game. You have mods that fix the game's UI, and obviously you have mods that are more like total conversions and basically are expansion style content for the game. And all of these have their own inherent value, and I think have a suggested donation amount, perhaps set by the modder themselves, and just leave it to the community, because if the mod is quality, then people are going to reward that, at least I think so, at any rate. I'd love to hear some thoughts from you guys though. Do you think paid mods should be a thing at all? And if so, do you agree that donations are probably the cleanest, simplest way to actually get around the myriad of problems that would come into play with paid mods? Let me know your thoughts. As always, your support is highly appreciated. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.